Now for this hour, we start with Russia and Iran. Russian President Vladimir Putin has engaged in diplomatic talks with both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian regarding the ongoing situation in Iran. Russia has offered to mediate peace in the region, positioning itself as a stabilizing force amidst the tensions. Additionally, Russia has been strengthening its ties with Iran, having signed a long-term strategic partnership agreement while also offering support to the country in terms of de-escalating tensions. However, concerns remain regarding Iran's nuclear ambitions, with Western nations accusing Iran of covertly pursuing nuclear weapons, an accusation that Tehran denies. While Russia supports Iran's peaceful use of nuclear energy, Russia's involvement in Iran's peace efforts highlights its broader geopolitical strategy, especially in the context of its ongoing conflict in Ukraine and its increasingly complex relations with its Middle Eastern allies. Now for this discussion, we welcome Ms. Alison Mutler. She's a former AP Bureau Chief in Romania, joins us live from Bucharest. Thank you very much, Ms. Mutler, for joining us again. Good to see you. Now, looking at this, how do you analyze Russia's role? Does it, as it shows or tries to show like a mediating effort, does it actually make any difference? Where does Russia exactly stand?
Well, Russia wants to show that it is making a difference. Whether it does or not is unclear, but Putin has a desire to play a bigger role on the international stage, and he has for some time been interested in Middle Eastern affairs, starting with Syria back, I think, in 2015. So this is another chapter for Putin where he thinks he can play an important role because of the crackdown on protests in recent weeks and the large number of deaths. So thousands of people have been killed. And Putin wants to show that he's a peacemaker, that he is an international figure, and he has an important role to play on the world stage. This comes as he is actually an international pariah, particularly in Europe and in other parts, because of what has happened in the killings in Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But he is trying to show himself as a peacemaker and even a statesman. And importantly for him, his area of influence extends beyond just Russia and Ukraine. For him, this is showing the Middle East, which has historically been a very problematic area. And obviously, Iran is an ally, and so he's showing that he is the person who can calm the situation. Whether that happens or not, it's unclear. But that is what he is trying to show by these phone calls with the Iranian president and also the Israeli president today.
Right, and how is Russia's relationship with Israel?
I would say it's quite difficult because Israel bombed Iran, and also Russia openly supports Palestine or Gaza, and so I think it's quite difficult. But again, Putin wants to show he's beyond just alliances on the ground, and wants to show, because also Netanyahu doesn't want Trump to intervene militarily in Iran. So he's trying to find common ground with Israel, but it is a difficult relationship that Russia does have with Israel, and it's not a natural relationship. In fact, they're often they're hostile to each other with much of their foreign policy.
Right, and like you rightfully mentioned, they have so many disagreements, let's say. They don't agree on many things, right? So how do you think, what's the mutual benefit for Israel in engaging in Russia's efforts to mediate?
I think they have a shared interest in Iran, in that Netanyahu does not want America to intervene, and Russia says it doesn't want the situation to escalate. So even though they have disagreements, as you said, on many levels and on many topics, on many files, as they call them, if they can find one area where they will agree, they both have an interest to negotiate or to discuss these issues, particularly as Israel also wants to repair its very badly damaged image abroad, something that Russia also wants to do. So I think they found a shared common ground on this particular issue, and they're both trying to exploit it.
Right. That's interesting. Thank you for highlighting that. And Ms. Butler, so how do you think, how will Russia balance its strategic partnership with Iran while addressing concerns over, a lot of concerns, especially now with ongoing with the U.S. and Israel?
I think that Russia will try to position itself as well as it possibly can. Putin, the Kremlin is good at this kind of thing. Not that it will be able to repair its image, but it will try and position itself in a place of strength to show that it is strong and that it is important, and more than that it's relevant, because it's come under a lot of criticism for its invasion of Ukraine, which hasn't been successful on a military level, and is causing all kinds of problems around the world, in Europe, and not only in Europe, to the United States and other places as well. So I think Russia will try and position itself, which is to Russia's advantage, not necessarily to creating peace, but to show that it is trying to bring peace.
Right. Thank you very much, Ms. Butler, for sharing that insight. Please stay with us as we